Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is NAJWA binti AMIR HAMZAH. Today, me and my friends will discuss deeper on the topic, is breakfast most important meal of the day? As we know, every morning most of us will take breakfast before we start our day, which in another word, breakfast is considered as a boost or energy for us to start our day. However, there are still people skip their breakfast for some reasons, such as they were late to go somewhere or some people were lazy to get up early in the morning. Without them realizing, actually breakfast are important meals that we need to consume, and most of us still take this matter lightly.
Hi, my name is ZIKRY bin ISHAK and I will start with the first main idea. So the first main idea is about the regular breakfast consumption related with the cognitive outcome of youth by Jiang Huang, Weighting, Decrement and Comfort in 2013. So the supporting details is 80% of the children having breakfast 4 to 5 times per week, and 14.5% had breakfast at least in 6 days, and 5.7% having breakfast less than 4 days, as stated by the Jiang Huang, Weighting, Decrement and Comfort in 2013. So a child's cognitive capacity is quickly increasing around the age of 6 years, according to ACLES in 2000, and social engagement with parents stated by the Govin in 2000. So the children that do not eat breakfast on daily basis having lower full-scale verbal and performance IQs with 7.9% point lower verbal than those who having the breakfast regularly with 6.1 point, according to Jiang Huang, Weighting, Decrement and Comfort in 2013. So the schools can play an essential role by delaying the start times or offering the breakfast to allow school-age children to benefit from the cognitive benefits, according to the Weissman, Voigt, Akivist and Wakil in 1996.
The second main idea is the children that who eat breakfast on regular basis scored considerably higher on complete verbal and performance IQ tests than do those who had breakfast seldom, according to the current study by the Jiang Huang, Weighting, Decrement and Comfort in 2013. So it is supported by the breakfast cognitive advantage was notably seen in better verbal IQ scores, according to Jiang Huang, Weighting, Decrement and Comfort in 2013. And also participating in mealtime discussion can help the children develop good cognitive skills, stated by the Snow and Bliss in 2006. And also children with the higher IQs are more likely to have a breakfast. So since research show that the executive function of planning behavior is a key predictor of the breakfast behavior, according to the Wong and Mullen in 2008. So it also plausible that sleep habits, which have been associated with their IQ, stated by the Newt on 2011, Pavonen in 2010 and Kilgore in 2010, that skewed the findings that children that will have a regular breakfast, usually they have a more regulated lifestyle.
Hello and Assalamualaikum, my name is SITI Hafizah and now I will present the first main idea from article 2, which is called as breakfast and performance. The first main idea stated by Kyoto 2001, the daily intake of nutrients with breakfast is expected to improve nutritional status and well-being over time and hence have a good impact on cognitive functioning and learning performance. These main ideas are supported with 4 supporting details. The first supporting detail is a study in Peru found that children who participate in the school breakfast program increase their average daily intake of calories, protein and iron by 15, 16 and 60% respectively. This is stated by Jacobi, Kyoto and Pollitt in 1996. The second supporting details that stated by Kyoto et al. In 2000, according to a Peruvian study, the average hemoglobin level in a group of children who ate school breakfast was 12 gram deciliter 21 compared to 11 gram deciliter 21 in a control group. Next supporting details that stated by Benton and Parker in 1998, which is short-term study on the effect of breakfast on cognitive performance, have frequently focused on an energy-dense breakfast with the goal of eliminating hunger. It has been proposed that an increase in glucose level could affect short-term memory. And the last supporting detail is it has frequently been argued that in order to have such an effect, nutrition intervention should begin at a young age as been stated by Kyoto 2001.
Next point on why breakfast is important meal, because as being stated in Q2's writing, breakfast provision has a long-term influence on a nutritional status, as well as a good impact on morbidity and hence school attendance, where this point has been supported by few supporting details. According to the research so far by Polly, Jacoby and Q2, a youngster who eats school breakfast is in a better position to learn and perform. This is referred to as capacity for active learning or educability by certain author. Q2 also mentioned that families would take their children to school to save money while also having faith in the quality of the food their children get at school in order to support this point. Not only that, to strengthen this point on why breakfast is important meal of the day, a study of primary school pupils in rural Peru by Q2 and another authors, where it was discovered that while this information had no positive influence on school enrollment, it was beneficial in terms of school dropout. Lastly, based on Jacoby, Q2 and Polly, many research on school breakfast program in both developed and developing nations suggest that the programs improve children's attendance at school. Hence, this effect arises pretty soon after beginning the program and are sustained throughout the time, as being said by Q2 in his article.
Assalamualaikum, my name is SHAHRIR. I will briefly explain about third article, namely Do We All Eat Breakfast and Is It Important?, written by Giovannini, Agostoni and Shamir in 2010. The first main idea of this article is stated by the authors, which is breakfast keeping is related to an increase in hunger, which can lead to weight gain and negative changes in diabetes and cardiovascular disease risk factors over time. The first evidence, stated by Farshi et al. 2005, according to clinical studies, increased meal frequency promotes changes in metabolism in humans, which may improve chronic disease risk factors. Furthermore, this also supported by Spichley and Buffenstein 1999 and Spichley et al. 1999, eating more frequently reduces appetite and energy consumption. The third supporting details is these metabolic changes might be attributed to a variety of reasons, the majority of which are related to breakfast composition, including high carbohydrate, low glycemic index, and fiber-rich meals, which stated by Giovannini, Agostoni, and Shamir 2010. It is true because they also support the evidence by stating greater meal frequency and regular breakfast eating might result in increased satiety and decreased calorie intake. The second main idea is breakfast as preventive action, since obesity has become the most common dietary condition in developed countries as its incidence has grown in recent decades, as stated by Daniels et al. 2005. This is also supported by Moreno and Rodriguez 2007, which obese children eat less energy at breakfast, skip breakfast more often, and consume a larger percentage of energy at supper. Moreno and Rodriguez 2007 and Rodriguez and Moreno 2006 also stated that a greater influence on the rise in obesity prevalence, including energy and food consumption, psychological characteristics, eating and physical activity habits. The third evidence is the emergence of the obesity pandemic at the same time as the drop in breakfast consumption influenced scientists' interest in the potential causal role of breakfast in weight control and illness risk by Timlin and Piera 2007. Similarly, breakfast consumption declined in nationally representative samples of United States children and adolescents from 1965 to 1998, as stated by Siegaris et al. 1998. Which is concerning because eating breakfast is associated with higher overall dietary quality and frequency of daily meals has been shown to be inversely related to the prevalence of being overweight. By Toshka et al. 2005. That statement becomes the full supporting details for the main idea I have mentioned. That's all from me.
Next, I'm Muhammad HAMDAN. We continue with the fourth article, which is how important is breakfast. The first main idea is the association between meal frequency and body mass index may be explained in part of relative prolonged satiety effect achieved by having breakfast, that is stated by Rogers 1997. In the first subcase, Rogers 1997 mentioned that it's also likely to affect the possibility mistaken strategy used by many overweight dieters who skip breakfast. The second supporting tale is stated by Miller and Rogers 1997, where the evidence from animal model studies of obesities that result in decreased meal frequencies. The third supporting details in relationship between body weight and meal frequency and whether breakfast is eaten may be influenced by a range of psychological and cognitive factors that have been mentioned by Roger 1997. The fourth supporting details is that also have been stated by Miller and Rogers 1997, which question like efficacy of eating breakfast is encouraging weight loss may be answered by undertaking special intervention trial. Other than that, the second main idea of the article is the insignificant effect of missing breakfast, not necessarily inconsistent with the belief of children who miss breakfast perform worse in the classroom, stated by Roger 1997. The first supporting test is Roger 1997 also stated that bad eating habit may have been explained in a variety of ways, which is possible link between challenging family condition and relatively low economic achievement. Roger 1997 mentioned in second supporting test which individual socio-economic situation may include irregular mealtime and lower nutrition, which directly impact their behavior at home and at school. The third supporting test is the breakfast consumption as well as breakfast food is undoubtedly a marker for more than just an appropriate dietary pattern, which mentioned by Roger 1997. And the last supporting test is mentioned by Pollitt 1995, which the group for group age higher proportion of nutritional vulnerable children, both short and long-term studies have demonstrated that eating breakfast can improve their cognitive function. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, breakfast supply energy to our body to utilize as fuel for daily activities. Skipping breakfast is linked with reduced physical activity. A balanced breakfast promotes healthy blood sugar levels, which is important for preventing energy decline and irritability later in the day. That's all from us. Thank you.